So today I'm going to be having a quick look at the Blackmagic Video Assist. Now, the Video Assist is still quite a new product. It did come out a year ago, but it's been really difficult to get hold of it until now. Basically, the Video Assist is a great combination of two things. First of all, it's a 1080p monitor for your camera, which is really great when you're trying to shoot, but also it'll let you record in either ProRes or DNx HD, which are perfect formats for color grading and editing. So I'll show you around the Video Assist a bit, and then I'll give you some of my thoughts about it. First of all, if we come to this side, you'll see the inputs and outputs of the Video Assist. So one of the things that's really great about the Video Assist is it has both HDMI and SDI connections, which should allow you to use it with most cameras. The SDI connections are mini SDI, but adapters for those are generally easy to get hold of. One of the cool things about this is that it'll let you convert any input to any output. So if you have a HDMI camera and you'd like to chain it to another SDI monitor, you can have your camera come into the HDMI in and connect your monitor to the SDI out. Now, that feature alone is usually something you have to buy another product to do. So the fact that this can do it as well is really awesome. If you come around to the back, you'll see it's got slots to hold two Canon batteries, which is great when you're out on set. If one of them dies, you've still got the other one running, so you can swap that out with a fresh one. And you've also got the ability to plug this into the mains. So if I come around here, you'll see it's got an input for the mains. And handily, Blackmagic do give you a charger in the bag. They don't give you any batteries, so that is something that you will have to buy yourself. They also don't provide any of the adapters that I mentioned you need for that. Again, something you'd have to look into. Still on this side, we've got the SD card. So the Video Assist records to SD cards, which is great if you've got loads of SD cards like we do. Other products that are similar to the Video Assist tend to record onto hard drives or SSDs, which are quite expensive, but they do have a high capacity, so you can record for longer. You've also got a headphone jack here for when you're listening to your audio, and of course the power switch. So if we look at the interface here, this is actually a touchscreen interface, which is quite unique. And as we go around the screens, I'll just point out some of the areas. Down here, you have the a histogram for the video, which gives you an idea of the brightness levels in your video. Then in the center, you've got your recording and playback controls. So at the moment, we're actually recording this video on the Video Assist, which is why the record button is currently showing as stop. But you can also use the play button to play back previous takes, forward and rewind to go to your other takes. Then down here we've got the audio meter, which gives you an idea of the audio levels you're currently recording at. So you can see as I talk, channel 1, which has my microphone on it, is showing that we're recording some good levels. Then at the top, we've got the battery indicator that shows you the level of the two batteries. We've also got information about how long is left on the SD card in terms of minutes, which source we're using, if we've got trigger record set. So trigger record means if you press record on your camera, it'll simultaneously start recording to the monitor, which is a cool feature. In the middle is our time code, our codec of choice. So as I mentioned, you can record ProRes or DNx HD. You can select that from up here. What's really great with this monitor is you can actually choose which flavor of ProRes you want. So if you want ProRes Standard or ProRes HQ or LT or Proxy. Now if you don't know what that means, it doesn't matter. It just means basically you can increase or decrease the quality of the files depending on how much space you want them to take up. It also indicates which resolution and frame rate you're recording at, which it'll automatically detect from the input. You don't actually set that yourself. Now, this icon up here, if I press it, it'll bring up options for the monitor. So it can be a bit fiddly, this screen sometimes, as it seems to be now, but I've actually managed to pull up the menu. So first of all, we've got the ability to add zebras. Now, zebras will show us areas of the image that are overexposed, and you can actually choose what exposure levels you want the zebras to start appearing at. So if I set it at quite a low level, like 40%, you can see now on my forehead and on the curtains at the side there that they've started to have the zebras appear. We've also got focus peaking. Now focus peaking adds a green line around objects in the image that are in focus. And this is really useful when you're trying to make sure that something in your shot is actually in focus. We've also got guides, which are set up for quite a number of different aspect ratios. So for example, if you want to shoot your film at a 240:1 aspect ratio, you can have a guide for that on the monitor to make sure that the areas of your frame that you want to record are inside that aspect ratio. And finally, we've got the grid, which adds a simple lined grid so that you can make sure that you've got your rule of thirds all set up. Now, another cool feature, which isn't appearing at the moment, but there's a plus icon that will appear here. And when you press that, it'll digitally zoom in. There we go. It's appeared now. It'll digitally zoom into the image, as you can see it has done, and that helps make sure that you've got a good focus on your image. Now, a downside to this is that you can't move around what area of the image that you've zoomed into. So if your object is right in the center of your image, that's fine, but if you're trying to check something that's off to one side, unfortunately you can't do that. But it does let you do that during playback. So if you've just recorded a take and you want to make sure that your actor was in focus, you can do that from this monitor. So those are the main features of this monitor. Well, actually, before I forget, if you swipe down and swipe up, it reveals these various icons on the screen. If you swipe to the left or right, you bring up the menu for the recorder. So if you need to format your SD card, you can do it from here. It also shows you how much you've used. If you want to change the display settings like brightness, contrast, etc., you can do that from here. And on the setup screen, you can change the name of the recorder, change the language, that sort of thing. So as I say, we're using this right now to record this video, and I'm quite a fan of this device. It's quite cheap compared to the competition. It's only a few £100s. I think it's about £350 to £400, which is really reasonable. You know, to get another device with this array of features for that price is practically impossible. This one will only do up to 1080p. Blackmagic have released a newer one that will record up to 4K. So if you need that, they've got that option as well. And it's a really great little device. The one thing I would say that has caught us out a few times is that it's not so easy to tell if you're recording or not. The icon in the button does change and the time code starts increasing, but that's really the only indication you get. And with recording, you want to be really sure and have a really good visual indicator that you are actually recording. The other thing we found is that because it is recording ProRes, it does tend to eat up SD cards. So if you are going to be using this, make sure you buy some really high quantity SD cards, like 64 gigs or higher. That way you don't have to keep changing them out. Also, make sure that you check their website to make sure the SD cards you buy are supported by the device. We actually tried to record on another SD card earlier and it wouldn't detect it at all. So that's the Blackmagic Video Assist. I'd really recommend it if you're looking for an external monitor or a recorder. Thank you for watching.